What's up, boys and girls? It's Drakhl, and we're doing questions and answers episode 1 with Drakhl. These are the things that you sent in to me a while back. I finally got around to doing them. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to answer the questions, and then we're going to move on to the builds that you challenged me to do and whatnot. I'll be doing a second episode eventually. Don't know when. I can't promise any dates or anything. So send me in questions and things that you want me to build, challenges, that sort of thing. And you'll understand what I mean by the time we finish this. Let me move the microphone a little bit. There we go. Okay, so one housekeeping note. I've created a secondary channel. It's Drakhl 2 on YouTube, and that's going to be for all my non-Minecraft stuff for the most part. Skyrim episodes will transition there after like episode 4 or 5, and that's so I don't flood the main channel with non-Minecraft stuff and piss people off, because I have a lot of videos, especially of Skyrim. Okay. So you can go ahead, it's in the video description, and I'll put a link on this video too in the notations. You can go ahead there and subscribe. Alright, so we're going to start with the questions. Trey8892, number 1, how old are you? I'm 25 if you really want to know. Number 2, when did you start Minecraft? I actually started Minecraft like early 2011. I played for like an hour. I dug myself a hole, a creeper fell in, and exploded, and I quit. And then I think in July of this year I came back. I bought it for myself on my birthday, and I decided to try it out, and that's when I really started playing. What's your favorite update? 1.8. No question, no explanation needed, I don't think. Alright, where did you come up with the name Drakhl? Well, I was like 12 or 13, and I needed a name for a role-playing thing. So I took the word dark and I rearranged the R to make Drak, and I added H and L, so it became Drakhl. That's how I did it. Alright, that's all his questions. Jham Music K. Jham Music K. That's a build, never mind. Okay, only Black Turtle. Number 1, what languages do you speak? English and bad English. Number 2, have you ever thought Minecraft would be so popular? Maybe. I know a lot of my friends started playing it in alpha, and it was pretty popular back then. I didn't think it would be this popular per se, but what I can tell you, it's going to be a hell of a lot more popular after Minecon and retail. All the game reviews are coming out now, and also it's going to Xbox Live next year, so yeah, it's going to get a lot bigger, believe me. Have you ever thought that your channel would get so popular? No, I didn't, and I have to thank everyone that's been with me since day one. I remember I used to upload Minecraft videos, and if I got to 100 views, I was like ecstatic, because that was, they all had about 50 or 60 views on them and no comments, and that made me really sad. I remember the first episode, I was like, yeah, comment on what I should build next time, and I really expected people to comment, and I got nothing. Anyway, so no, I didn't, but hopefully it will get much more popular. I'm gaining anywhere between 15 and 30 subscribers a day, so it's getting there. Okay. I think that's all for the actual questions. Not too many people sent in questions. They mostly sent in builds. So we're gonna try that one. Try these. Let's move forward. What are we gonna do first? Okay, we're gonna do this alarm system. I'm trying to remember exactly who sent that in. I know it was a guy, I think it was James from Pissed Off Gamers. I forget your username at the moment. But what he wanted me to do was do an alarm system that he had created, basically. And, well, yeah, let me go ahead and do that. Get some redstone here, because there's a couple things that are broken. Alright. Okay, so his alarm system was very complex. It uses a JK flip-flop, which I haven't seen ever in Minecraft. That's definitely new. But basically what he wanted me to do was create a smaller version of the alarm, and what the alarm has to do, once it is tripped, it has to stay on until it's manually disarmed, and there's no way for the player to disarm it, basically. And yeah, that's pretty much what he wanted me to do. So this is, I believe, how it works. Yep, it works. And that alarm will keep going off until you manually disarm it. And also you can keep it disarmed So if someone walks over the plate, it'll play once and that's it. You could even make it play not at all, but he specifically wanted it to play once, or play as long as they're stepping on the plate and then get off. So that's the disarmed mode. And now I think I've done this pretty well. It's actually very compact. And I don't have time to go into detail on all these builds because I have to get to quite a few of them, but I'll give you some basic ideas. Now what this is here, right here, is an input stabilizer circuit. Now when I step on the pressure plate, it creates an infinite loop with this repeater. So basically the power goes through here, around, into the repeater and creates that infinite loop. And it's shut off when this block is pushed over this redstone. So that's the disarm mechanism. But if I step on the plate, this will loop infinitely. Basically it allows the clock over here to run, and when you disarm it, it breaks this circuit, and as you can see it is no longer powered, and you have power here being sent into the clock, which disarms it. Now if I broke this redstone wire, the clock would start going again. So you can see how that works. This torch is actually keeping it stable so it doesn't run. That's basically the idea of this whole thing. So what I had to do, I had to take a short pulse from the pressure plate, turn it into a infinite pulse, or a constant on basically, and then make that run a clock over here, which is just a 4 clock, and turn these note blocks on and off. That's basically what it does. And the disarming system is just pushing this piston back and forth, and now it is armed because now it allows power to go through, and now disarmed. That's it. One other cool thing that I added that I thought was really cool is this RS NOR latch here, and this is able to tell you if someone has come into your house. Basically, if say they came in and they were able to somehow disarm the system, or the server crashed, they probably wouldn't see this. As you can see, that torch goes on and it will stay on until you manually disarm the trap. So yeah, it will let you know if someone has come through. And as you can see, when I do that, the torch goes back to the other position. So that's my alarm system. I think it's quite good. It's actually very small. You can fit this just about anywhere. You can make it even smaller if you wanted to. But yeah, I probably should do a tutorial on this. If you guys would like one, let me know. No promises on when it would be, but it's not all too complex. I think I did a very good job on this. Here's a secondary version that uses a minecart, just for variety. The minecart actually loops around and hits the detector rail, which hits the block here. And this was intended to make it work after a server restart, but it actually didn't, because this wire would get stuck for some reason. I don't know why. It makes it a little bit more compact, I think. But that's no longer a problem with pre-release 6, because these clocks will run forever now, even when you unload the chunks. So that's great. So those are the two alarm systems I did. Alright, so Spare1 sent in a request about a trapdoor mechanism, which he can use for his house. And the idea was, if you get a combination wrong, it drops you to your death, but if you get it right, you're allowed to go through. Alright, fairly basic. So right now the combination is correct. So I press the button, the door opens, right? Combination is wrong, you die. Okay. This is somewhat complex. It really deserves its own video on its own, but obviously we don't have the time, so I'll give you a quick rundown of how this works. This is the basic combination lock system. It's manually programmed, the combination that is, using these torches. So the correct combination would be to turn this torch, I believe this torch, okay, so you would need this torch over there off and off. Alright, so you would need off, 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 off across the entire way for this to work properly. So that means this has to be on, that has to be off, that has to be on, or yes, that has to be on, that has to be off. And because we don't want any power going to this NOR gate, because if anything powers this NOR gate, like for instance this lever, it flips the torch and inverts the whole thing, and then this torch here on the AND gate would be off, and so when the player pushed the button, the AND gate would complete and drop them into the hole. So that's fairly simple, but if the combination is correct, then the AND gate would not complete. You see that torch over there is on. So that's in a nutshell how it works, the combination part anyway. The wiring is somewhat fancy. We got the pistons down here, which is actually fairly easy to do. The nuts and bolts of it, the hard part was getting the door to open only when the combination was correct. So how did I accomplish that? Well, let's get the combination correct. Oops. Which one's wrong? That one's wrong. Okay. So when I push the button here, the combination is correct, alright? So if the combination was not correct, for instance here, you see this torch would be on, and that torch is sending power to this. So when I press the button here, this whole part is still powered, alright? So that makes the door not open because the door is connected to this torch and down into the door. So this torch has to be on for the door to open. And how that works... Shit, what was the combo? There we go. Okay, so the way that works is with the combo correct, this torch is no longer on. So when I press this button here, it's going to send a pulse to this torch here, which turns it off and then turns this whole wire off and lets this torch go on and then open the door. So that's a little bit complex and difficult to see. So what I'm probably going to do with all this stuff is release the map that I'm working on. You know what? No, I can't release the map yet. Alright, I promise I will release the map at one point, but there's something very special. I'm working on the subscriber special on this map, so I cannot release it yet, but I will. Okay, so if anyone wants any more information on these builds specifically, request it, and I'll probably do tutorials, but I can't promise when I will do them. Anyway, so when you press the button, you can see that torch lights up and opens the door. But if the combination was wrong, the door would not open because that torch would never come on, basically. And you would also die because the pistons would drop you in there. So it wouldn't matter even if the door did open. So that's the basic combination lock idea. It's actually it's fairly simple. The wiring is a little bit jumbled up, and took a little bit of creativity to get everything right. But it's really just a question of placement and moving things around. Okay, so that was the combination lock trapdoor thing. Now, who else wanted to know something? Slime199 asked me to make an automated chicken farm. I didn't have time to do that, but what I can tell you is it's actually very easy. All you have to do is literally this. And I need a ladder or something. Ideally you put a sign here. Oh crap, I can't put them there. So I need a sign. Where are the signs? There we go. Alright, done. There's your chicken farm. Literally, because you can literally go up here and breed the chickens. Like when they have to get them in the water, so they're floating in the water, and you can breed them. And they'll drop eggs directly down into another water stream down here. Not a chicken farm, sorry. He wanted me to make an egg farm. So that's basically it. That's an egg farm. That works great. And you can also kill the chickens and have all their stuff just drop here. Or you can rig up a piston system just to kill the chickens if you wanted to. So whatever you want to do, that's your basic chicken farm. It's actually really easy to do. Okay, moving on. I know that's not a great answer, but that's the most efficient way to do it, in my opinion. Okay, so Neo shaded. All right. You're a bastard because you asked me to do this. He wanted me to create a boat elevator with a return system. Okay. I hate boats. I leave boats to the master of boats, which is Etho, of course, but I took a crack at it. It didn't really work all that well. But I have sort of the basic system in place, and I'm not even sure if it's possible to finish it because of how things have changed in recent patches, and I'll explain later. But here's the basic boat elevator. It's actually really easy to do. up we go, and over to here. Now here's the brilliant part. This lands on soul sand, which keeps the boat, you know, basically there without letting it flop around too much. You step on a pressure plate, boat falls down through the soul sand. So it's powered by pistons, very easy. And the idea was I was going to make this a return system, like it would flow back into there, and then you have a button press to let it come out, and then jump in the boat and up you go. It doesn't really work. But first I'll explain how to make the water elevator. It's very easy. So you would make it, probably want to make it 4 wide because boats are a little glitchy. And all you have to do is all the way up, you have to fill it with source water blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Shit. Alright, I keep forgetting that they you can place water source blocks on top of water source blocks now. So basically you fill the whole thing with source blocks all the way up, and that makes the boat float. If you don't do that, it's falling water and the boat will not go up. So that's how you make the elevator part of it, which is the simplest part. Now the return system doesn't really work because I can't really make the boat come out. Like, it lands here perfectly and whatnot, and I tried a whole bunch of different things, and then I had like piston doors and then normal doors, but the boat won't move. It's really annoying, and when it does, it like crashes and breaks, and I have no idea how to fix that really. So I tried some of Etho's old methods. You can see I even tried pistons down here. I tried one of Etho's old methods, which was an easy loader, which actually this is not the correct version, but I tried his version and it didn't work, so I was experimenting with new ones. And as you can see, it's not going to work. And he had this similar problem, I believe. As you see, the boat breaks when it goes into the easy loader, and that's the idea for that, is to make it go exactly where you want it, and it doesn't work. So if anyone could come up with a better idea how to make a boat go basically like I could drop it down and then have the boat go through a door and, you know, wait until someone calls for it, that'd be ideal. But I find no way to make the boat, to align it properly to let it come through a doorway exactly the way you want it. And usually you accomplish that by putting ladders down on the sides of it and having like an eats road like Etho would do. But I don't think it works anymore, honestly. I have not figured out a way to do it. But that is my basic boat elevator with a non-functional return system. I hope someone will get some sort of idea from this. But yeah, it doesn't really work. So I think that's just about it for all the questions and all the builds. Yeah, that's about it. So that's Q&A episode 1. I apologize for not finishing this, but I can't find a way to do it. But everything else is pretty good. And I apologize for the quickness of which I went over all of these. But if anyone wants any more details on any one of these systems, let me know, and I'll do a tutorial separately for each one. Because they would take quite a bit of time. It would be like a 40-45 minute video if I did all of these. Alright, so I appreciate all the questions that you guys sent in and all the challenges. It took me a while to get it done because some of them were a little bit difficult, like the boat one. But if you want more of these, let me know. And yep, I think that's it. Okay, so this has been Drakhl, and I will see you guys probably tomorrow with a tutorial video. Peace out.